I'm just going to come out with it. I'm going to confess it. The reason I haven't really done this is because, of course, you're afraid of judgment, but then I'm like, who cares? I have grown so much. I don't want to be hindered anymore, and I feel it's time to come out. Okay? Now hear me out. I have grown a lot. I used to drink. Let's face it, every step we take with God is not like laying on a bed of roses, okay? Sometimes it really bites. So, day 2 of my 40-day fast, which will go into never drinking again. I'm having the urge to drink today. I felt like in the past I wasn't giving it to God. I was telling him, take it, but I was holding on to it to a point, right? I was letting go of my grip little by little. And I was thinking about that, and God gave me a visual of me as like a little girl, right? And she's taking her bag of alcohol and she's swinging it over her shoulder, and she's like, I got this, God, I got this.
I hear you whisper underneath your breath.
Hey everyone, so this is day 8 and I'm doing really well.
Run.
I was definitely wrestling with my flesh. I wanted to drink. I didn't. Instead, I ate cheesecake and pizza rolls. He's like, well, why aren't you drinking? And I said, because I used to struggle with alcohol. And he's like, oh, I understand what you're saying. And I was like, I'm doing okay though. And he's like, I understand what you're saying though, because my dad was an alcoholic. And I was like, oh. And then he's like, well, I'm surprised you can be in a place like this. And I said, well, I wouldn't be able to if it wasn't for God. And he's like, yeah. And he bows his head. And then I'm like, he's my strength. And he's like, yeah. So my heart's feeling kind of sad and broken today. Most of you know this is 38 days of no drinking. So we all know it's so hard for us to reach out for help when we need it. But I did. So you guys know that my alcohol fast ended maybe like 20, 30 days ago. Well, I've still been going.
You love me the same, God. You love me the same.
So I'm struggling with my thoughts right now, so I thought maybe if I put it out there, it'll help me to get it out and work through it. So I just dumped both bottles. They are going in the trash because I am not letting the enemy win. Back in the day, people would tell me, you don't want it enough. I'm like, I don't understand what that means. I'm sitting here literally bawling that I want to quit drinking and stuff. How are you telling me I don't want it enough? I dumped the 2 bottles of alcohol that I remembered I had in this house out this morning. I truly want it this time. I'm not letting the excuses excuse me from continuing on my road of freedom. I am so full of his joy today. It's because I overcame that huge obstacle because I wouldn't let go of him and I kept surrendering it completely. I had tried to stop drinking for so many years and it was on my terms. So I, could say, yes, I was trying to stop drinking, but I was trying to find an easier way to do it because I know God was telling me, you just got to bite the bullet and do it. And I kept doing it my own way. Well, back in March, he said, give me 40 days. Do a 40-day alcohol fast. So I'm like, okay, I do it. I stop drinking. Or like maybe for 3 days I struggled a little bit and I have been fine ever since. God showed me that me holding on to that, I'm holding on to the enemy partially. I'm receiving help, wanting help from the enemy for something in my life instead of fully only wanting it from God. So I forgot about my 1-year anniversary of being sober. It was yesterday. Doing so much reminiscing on my walk with alcohol and God. I remember a time I was sitting on my porch and I was drinking. I think, hard alcohol that night. And I was bawling and tears were dropping into my drink. And I was talking to God in my mind, not even out loud. Nobody was around. And I had told him, I just feel like I just need to give up this walk. It's too hard. I can't do it. And while the music was playing, the pastor pointed to me and he said, he said, God says, he said, you want to throw the towel in, and God says, don't do that. And that was God telling me. He sees, he hears, and he still loves me, and he's still there, and he's saying, don't give this up.
Though I can't always see.
Any addiction, it's self-soothing, right? I say that I hold on to this because there's an emotional attachment. Just like with a cigarette, you take that drag and you inhale, and it feels like your worries aren't so bad, but they are still bad. That's why we need Jesus. It's different. We can't fall back into patterns because we may not come back.